Hello, Scorpio. Thank you very much for tuning in to this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Website is on the side here, schifferbooks.com. Feel free to freeze frame and check that out if you're interested. Supportive Oracle cards. You Are Clairvoyant Oracle cards by Belinda Grace. Illustrations by Elaine Marzin. Website on the bottom, or the back I should say. rockpoolpublishing.com.au. A is an apple, U is an umbrella. Okay, what do we have for Scorpio? Oh, your card was the first one out. The death card. I have a lot of upside down cards here. I got a lot of upside down cards here. So, we're just going to keep rolling with it. I don't know. I think it's happened with, it didn't happen with Pisces, but it happened with Cancer. Upside down cards, which is fine. The Devil reversed. So the Devil reversed and the Four of Coins reversed. You might be disconnecting from something. The question is, what's really going on here? Is somebody pulling you into a BS game? Because it's kind of like, the advice is already starting with, like, you need to have control of this situation. Whatever this is, I know Scorpio is strong, but I almost feel like this is where this is starting, so hopefully it's not offensive. Whatever's going on, I feel like they're saying, remember who you are, remember that you're the one in control, step back, reevaluate what you have control of, and start making changes. It feels like somebody's pulling you into, like, some BS game that nobody's winning. You got the Queen of Wands reversed in the environment, and then you got the King of Wands reversed for you, which is telling me nothing is going where it's supposed. Nothing is, like, making sense here. The situation is not going well. Whatever this is, there's been a problem. It's been going on for a while, and I feel like that's the advice. Like, step back, remember that you're the one in control of your life. You don't have to be involved in things you don't want to be. It might be time to make a change. Somebody seems to be baiting you. And I feel like whatever it feels like there's a construct here of somebody making you feel like you have to be here, like you have to deal with this, you have to be a part of this. And the truth is, that's not the truth. Like, that's just the point. That's not the truth. You don't have to be a part of this. You are Scorpio. You are very strong. You are leader energy. It's time to remember who you are and change this. Whatever's going on here, something went wrong a while ago. For some reason, I feel like you're still involved with this situation, but they're saying this situation has proved that it wasn't just one situation. Since that moment, things have gotten progressively worse. The advice here, we got Kuan Yin with the Ace of Wands, is like, it's time to make a change. It's really pushing forward very strongly. Like, this is where it's, like, this reading is starting right off with that. Just in case, let me just roll the dice on this. The energy is really strong, like really strong. Things have been stagnant for too long. You got the Hanged Man half in, half out, and you got the Four of Cups half in, half out. I feel like you've been putting up with something you shouldn't be putting up with. You have your reasons. There's clearly reasons you're doing what you're doing. I feel like this reading, if this reading is hitting, they're advising that you step back. Maybe do a pro-cons list. You don't have to write it out any more detailed than you want to. Remember that too. But just like look at the reasons you're staying and the reasons you should go, and the reasons you can go and the reasons you can't go. What happens if you do? What happens if you don't? Whatever you need to do to like look at the contrast of like really looking at like what are you putting up with and for what. The thing is, I keep saying this, but there's a point to this. Scorpio is extremely strong, which you can put up with a lot if you decide you need to. But I feel like this isn't about how much strength you have. It's about when does this strength start working in the negative for you. Even though you can keep it together, even though you can keep the situation going, at what point does it become like counterproductive for not only you, but for everybody else too? This reading is feeling a little brutal. It really is, because I feel like what they're saying is it's time to let go. Your card, first card out, the Death card, it's time for a change. This change isn't going to make anybody happy in the beginning. It's not. People are going to be upset for a while, but long term there will be healing. By keeping the situation, there's no healing. By making this change, people will be unhappy for a while. It's true. It is true. But it's kind of like, I feel like I've used this analogy a few times. It's kind of like if you have a bone that healed incorrectly. When I was a kid, I didn't understand it, but I do now. If they have to re-break your bone, that's a surgery. They have to they're not gonna just snap your arm. I don't know why when I was a kid I thought that's what was gonna happen, but that's the fear I feel like this situation has. Like when somebody says reset a bone, like they have to re-break it. I'm like, you have to what? How are you gonna do that? I don't know. When I was a kid, I had a fear of that. It's kind of like, all right, the bone has to be rebroke. If it has to be rebroke so it can be reset and heal correctly, that means there's going to be that healing time again where you're not going to have use of that arm or whatever bone. You're not going to have use of that area, whether it be an arm or leg. You're going to be laid up for what, 6 to 8 weeks, right? Something like that. And there's okay, so there's going to be a time period where I'm very unhappy. So the thought of having that fixed is kind of like, I don't want to go through that period of downtime. I don't want to go through that healing process because it's probably has its own pain through it anyway. But on the upside, though, if it gets healed correctly, as soon as it's healed correctly, I can do things like I used to. I can do things the way I want to. I have more strength. I can use I have more strength in that bone. I can maybe for example, if it was a leg bone and it didn't heal correctly, I can't run. I can't walk correctly. But once it's healed correctly, I can walk correctly. I can technically run if I want to. If I at least have the option to if I decide I want to do that. You know what I mean? That's where we need to go with this. Once you start the journey, you're going to know that you're doing what you need to do. You're going to balance the situation out. You know what you need to do. You will make it work out. Not everybody's going to agree with you. But I feel like you know that this isn't a good situation to stick in. If this reading is hitting, you know this isn't a good situation. And where it has come from, where it's evolving to, where it could go next is not even any. Where it could go next is even worse, is what I'm kind of getting. Take it with a grain of salt. It's a general read. Take it with a grain of salt. By stepping out, there's going to be people unhappy with you. I don't see you being afraid of that, because I get the 3 of Cups reversed again, and I feel like it might weigh on your mind. Like there's certain people you don't want to be upset with you. But they're also saying you need to kind of give these people a chance to really see the situation for what it truly is. They need to also learn that people have limits. Just because they think you should put up with something for the rest of your life doesn't mean you should. They'll see the difference long term. At some point they will see the difference and they'll realize, but the point is for you to have peace knowing that you got out of a bad toxic situation. And just because it was going to make people upset for you to stop being treated poorly or to stop being a part of this bad situation doesn't mean it's bad. They may not like you, but that doesn't make you a bad person. They may not like you, but doesn't mean you did the wrong thing. There's some people who get so used to a toxic situation that they just feel like no matter what happens, we need to stay in it. Maybe some of you are in a bad relationship and you have kids. And maybe the kids are going to be very upset with you if you end this connection. But down the road, hopefully they see the difference between sticking in a negative connection and then stepping away and having more peace and feeling what peace actually feels like. If that's connected to your situation. Is there anything here I'm missing? That's a spicy one, isn't it? That time, this may last a couple years, 2-3 years. It's just, I feel like that they're just putting that out there. It's a general read, so take it with a grain of salt. But people not liking you or whoever it is not liking you, that could last 2 to 3 years. But I also get that it will pass because it came up with the Hanged Man, and it came up with the 8 of Wands reversed. The 8 of Wands reversed is telling me the lack of action. The Hanged Man is something where something is stuck where it is for a time, but it doesn't stay there forever. Once that time period moves on, once the moment moves on, it will let go. But this one feels like it could be a 2 to 3 year Hanged Man situation. So, hanged person. Hanged woman is it maybe, whatever it is. So keep that in mind. Are we good? Alright, I feel like this is more of like a truthful reading. Like, they just want you to know the truth. It's good to let go of this situation. Yeah, people may not like you, but doesn't mean you're wrong. Doesn't mean you're wrong. Alright. Thank you for watching. I hope that helps. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. If you're interested in the donation information, that's below, same email. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.